Hey everybody, another test stream. We're going to see how well everything goes. But yeah, the basic idea is I'm working on a game by myself. We're just going to broadcast to YouTube and Twitch. If that, we've already had a few failed attempts. It says it's still connecting, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to wait until all those went on or if I'd leave for a really long black gap at the middle. But either way, I'm here. Cool. So I'm hoping that once this gets connected, everything should work. I'm also hoping you guys can hear me well enough. If you see me holding my phone, you'll know it worked. Boy, it still says connecting, huh? Oh. Oh, cool. All right. It officially says, hey, I can see myself on my phone. Twitch is officially working. And frame rate doesn't look too bad, in my humble opinion. I think, honestly, one of the biggest problems I'm having with this whole streaming thing is my Cat 5 cables. I got a bunch of old ones laying around. I've been using those. But anyway, the stream behind me is from my laptop, and it's going to run at, I think, like 5 frames a second, so it's not going to be very impressive. It also has a fairly sizable delay. So what I'm working on right now is a map maker. This is going to be used for in-house stuff like making challenges, but it's also going to be used for designing maps for the game. We're kind of changing the way we're doing things, and this should make things a lot easier. What I have done so far is, if you look in the upper left-hand corner, it tells you the tile's current position, and you can move those around with, you can move your position around with the left stick, you can look around with the right stick, but you don't really get any idea of where you are yet because there's nothing else around. They can't place any tiles. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. First, we're going to work on just placeholder stuff, and then we're going to try and actually get it so it will save in a format compatible with the rest of the game. So if you guys have any questions, leave them in the chat. I don't know. This is, like I said, this isn't really a tutorial. So I'm just sort of going to be working on stuff and sort of streaming it as I'm doing it. But if you guys have any questions about the game, if you are watching this as a saved stream well after the fact, then cool. Thanks for joining us. We're from the past. All right. Anyway, cool. So what I'm looking at right now is I want to be able to place a tile. And I need to remember what the rewired extension is for that. I'm going to go to actions. I think it's menu accept. Yep, we're going to go with menu accept for right now. That's not what it's going to always be, but that's what it is for right now. Menu space accept. And we do not have a variable set up to store the tile. So what I'm going to want is a public. Do I want to go with game object, or do I want to go with transform? Let's go with game object. Public game object held tile. And the reason why I'm saying held tile is this is the tile that you currently have. Oh, sorry. You're getting some encoding errors behind me. I'm going to go with a held tile. And if the player, this is, okay, that messed me up a little bit. Okay. If the player presses menu accept, which is going to be X, likely for any players, then it will place the tile. So we're going to do, I'm actually going to copy and paste this because it's a fairly long string of text. Inputs, get button down. Then I'm going to say menu space accept. If they press menu accept, then we want to duplicate the button. And the way that's going to work is we're going to say game object temp game object. And it's not giving me cues on any of this stuff. So as a result, I'm kind of going in the dark. Actually, I'm going to look something up real quick. I apologize for this. I always need to look up stuff for these sort of things. It's those syntax things, you know? All right, good. So this is what I want. This is what I want. So, oh, I copied twice. Oops. Let's go to copy, then I'm gonna go to paste. All right. Sometimes this beloved program does not allow you to copy and paste, which is incredibly frustrating. So anyway, so I'm going to type it all out, instantiate, and then I'm going to do held tile, and then I'm going to, what is it next? The position rotation. All right, so then the position that we are going to instantiate it in is our transform, no, autocorrect one, right? Transform escape dot position, and then transform, no, dot rotation. So all that is doing is, oh, do I have to say as game object? I don't know if I have to do as game object, but it'll let me know if I do. Cool. All right. Well, let's see if life is that simple. But what that, while it's compiling, what that should do is, whatever object we have in temp game object, or I'm sorry, whatever object we have that is in held game object, should be duplicated. We should have a new one. So now, when we start it up, what it should allow us to do is it should allow us to take whatever tile we have, go to a position, press A or press X, and it should duplicate it. Oh, we got compiler errors. My mistake. 1, 2, 4. Oh, yep, missed a bracket. I missed a bracket, and it opened up my eyes. I missed a bracket. Closing out on this. Okay, recompiling. We'll see how things go. Unfortunately for this project, we have quite a few scripts, and so sometimes it takes a little while for it to compile. I did do some house cleaning this past week. Took a lot longer than I expected, but I did a bunch of house cleaning, got rid of a bunch of scripts, a bunch of 3D models I didn't need, as well as on accident some 3D models that I did need. So, learning experience to say the least. But I do want to get into a habit of just sort of cleaning up the code once a month, because I think that that's important to do. All right, cool. So right now we just have a solid text. We aren't loading up any prefabs. We are just taking a hexagon shape and navigating around a hexagon grid. Later on, we will make it so that we can actually move around with the D-pad and change what tile it is we're putting down, as well as what material it uses. I don't know how well it's going to work, but I'm going to try it. I might not get it done in this stream. This is just me sort of trying this out, trying to work on the game while I stream. Sorry, I got something in my nose. It's inappropriate to pick your nose on camera, so I turned it off. Alright, cool. Sorry, let's try this again. So now I'm going for Map Maker. I can look around, and then I press X. Ha! It worked! I can't zoom out. Alright, cool. So then I do this. I can move around. Place another tile. Oh! Oh, that's not right. Oh, that's not right at all. Oh. Looks like somebody's got their X and Y's mixed up. All right, cool. Well, this is good. This is how I learn. So I have the. I think it's Y. All right, so X looks right. Y, however, is up and down. Oh, I should have known that. Anyway, okay, cool. So now let's go into the code and switch it around. So, all right, so right here, if stuff is moved, it'll change the position. So right now, it's, this section is for X, this section is for Y, this section is for Z, and that is wrong-o, because with Unity, it's designed for both two-dimensional games and three-dimensional games. So what they do is they have X be horizontal, Y be vertical, which makes a ton of sense if you are working in 2D. But if you're working in 3D, it doesn't make quite as much sense because you kind of want this to be X, this to be Y, and up and down to be Z. So as a result, I got all mixed up because that's how I described it in the code. But we can fix it. All I have to do is go over here, do a little bit of tomfoolery, a little bit of cut, a little bit of paste, and everybody should go home happy. Cool, cool, cool. X, V. Did I mess something up? I think I did. No, we're good. All right, cool. So let's try that. Do I want to add any more code? I don't think that I do. All right, cool. So it's compiling. All right, but this is not all we want to do. We'll eventually want to keep a log of everything, but we're not quite there yet. Instantiate, transform. Oh, right, okay. I was thinking I had to detach it from the moving script, but I guess I don't. Oh, still compiling. Oh. Yes, I know, I have 122 warnings. I guess I get more than 3. All right, let's try this again. Oof. Not a healthy habit to get into. Starting up. Boy, the encoding behind me is getting really bad. It seems like with the text, it's especially bad. I don't know what I can do to fix it, but I'll figure something out. All right, cool. So I'm starting up on mine. Map Maker. Map Maker, make me a map. All right, well, let's go to position 10, 10. Oh, all right, I must be turned around. No, I'm still turned around. There we go. All right, so I'm in position 10, 10. All right, good. So now I'm in position 10, 10. I press X. It places a tile, and you can see it up there. Right below it says title screen, map maker, we got solid text. So now, if I move, oh no, this is wrong-o. Okay, it's closer though. It's definitely closer. It's definitely closer. I either need to rotate the hexagon itself by 30 degrees. I can't remember if it's 30 or 60, but I think it's 30. Or, oh yeah, you can't go below 0. Or, I need to switch my coordinates around. If this is what it's like all the time, I don't want to do that. But all I do is say solid hex. So yeah, so let's see here. So if I go to Map Maker, and I change this thing's currently at 0. Let's say I make it 30. The reason why I picked, okay. So now you'll notice that the sides line up. And so if I make this one's Y 30, then they don't line up. And the fact that they don't line up is a real problem. Also, these are like exactly backwards of what you'd think they'd be. Yeah, they are like exactly backwards. Actually, that's not true. The X is exactly backwards. Anytime I'm doing, not anytime, boy. All right, so the Y, oh boy, this gets tricky. All right, but anyway, this is all wrong, so I gotta fix something. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? No. That's what I should be doing also, is I should be laying down the actual resource tiles. Yeah, this is what I should be doing. Okay, let's redo this. I don't know if this is going to make any difference, but I'm still going to try it. So if I go here and I take map tile 01, which is the floor tile. I don't want do I want the floor tile to be the first one we do? Yeah, let's do tile 002. So I'm going to move this here. Alright, where are you? Okay, good. Oh, alright, so you're the exact same. Map maker's not rotated. Solid hex we're going to delete. Yes, I know. Okay, good. I don't like that you're using that, but whatever. Okay, so I did something wrong. Hard to believe, I know. Oh boy. Alright, so first of all, I want to make sure the health game object is the new map tile. And, okay. So it's locating its position wrong. Alright, so I was definitely right to do X first, then Z, then Y. Is that what I actually did? Transformed up position is equal to new vector 3 x multiplied by x distance minus x offset. Z minus Z max, y minus y offset. I don't know about this. Let's look at this again. Because what I'm thinking is happening here is I'm crossing some lines. I'm thinking that there's got to be an issue where it's supposed to be moving horizontally, but it is moving vertically. I mean, I get that some of the axes are wrong. Maybe that's what's doing it. I don't know. Okay. So this is y. So I moved y forward 1 unit. And it simply moved it. It doesn't care. Yeah. Okay. The x is still 0. But the y is no longer even. Because 0 is even and 1 is odd. So as a result, its position should not, its x should be offset. The x should be offset by the x offset odd. Yeah. Yeah, all that should be right. Alright, let's add some debug logs. Debug.log even. Alright, so what the main theory that I have right now is that it's not properly detecting if y is odd or even. So we're going to add some debug logs and we're going to see if that is the issue. Because what it's doing with, anytime you're dealing with hexagon geometry, if you have, a typical grid of, x by y, you have x in one axis, y in the other axis, the hexagons don't move in a straight line in 2 axes. They move in 3 axes. And so as a result, if you want to make it work, one of them, it can just go straight, where it's like, hey, this is 9 meters away from this, so if you just move over 9 meters, that's fine. But if you move this direction by 9 meters, it'll be wrong. The 2 points will be overlapping, and so you've moved forward, but then you also have to move over by half of 1 hexagon. So that's what it's not doing. It's just moving it forward, and that is indicative of it not accounting for the fact that it's an odd one. So what I'm going to do now, what I've already done is I've added this and said, hey, you're even, hey, you're odd. So every time we move, we should get something in this box, which is going to appear right above my head. which should say, hey, this is odd or this is even, and I can check if that's correct. And if it's not correct, then I know that that is the issue, and I can try and figure out what's going on. Normally, when you divide by an integer, you can have some problems. Sometimes it works, sometimes not so much. All right, so you're even, which is correct. Now I'm going to move even up. Oh, okay. Odd. Even. Okay, so it's definitely working. All right, so it knows the difference between odd and even, which is good, but I was kind of hoping that was the issue. So I'm going to remove my debug log, so I'm not going to save. I'm actually going to go over here, click on this little guy, and say debug. Aha! X offset and X offset odd are both set to 0. So is Y offset for that matter. Okay, why are they set to 0? X offset is equal to tile key times X multiplied by distance divided by 2. I'm thinking the divided by 2 is causing the problem. Oh my goodness. My. Okay, figure out the problem. What happens is, I had one variable. What I was going to do was I was going to have it load up all of the offset presets before everything started. But I thought, that's actually not a good idea, because if I do that, if the player was to change the map type, which I haven't even explained what map types are, but anyway, if I were to change the map type partway through, I'd want to have it be a secondary variable so that you could simply reload the variables without going through anything that you might only want to do once. So that's what I did, but I didn't have it trigger on start. So as a result, it never started off. So foolish me. But now we should see something that's a little bit better. All right, cool. So we're going to clear these out, start it up, and hope for the best. Boy, that screen does have quite a bit of a delay. Cool. Okay. Go to position 10. How does that not work? Oh, because it's backwards. That's backwards too. What? All right. Something is clearly working. I'm sorry, I am very confused. Okay. Well, you're clearly working, but you're being super weird about it. I don't understand how this thing's calculating position. It's definitely lining up with the grid. Okay. So from the starting position, X works. Okay. All right, cool. So that works. So then if I go back, oh, it only does it on down. I forgot. All right, cool. Yeah, this is working. Cool. All right. Made one big step forward. Now, just for my peace of mind, these are eventually going to be set to zoom in and zoom out, which I think I desperately want. Sorry to say. So I'm trying to remember what this is. So, oh yeah, it's the camera's Z position. So if the Z is out, yeah, let's do that. So now we're going to do a new variable, which is float zoom, which is going to be equal to, what did I say? Boy, shoot, I honestly want it backed up a little bit further. I think that if it was backed up, let's say negative 75. Well, that kind of gives you the impression the map's smaller than it actually is. Maybe negative 50. Okay, so we're going to set the default value to negative 50. You have to put an F to make it a float. And then I'm going to say, all right, so this gets tricky. Tricky. I'm going to stop this. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to connect these two. Interestingly enough, on an Xbox 360 controller, these two are already connected, so it's not too difficult. Oh, I know. Let's store a temporary value. Oh, here we go. Got this. All right, so we're gonna go zoom minus equals. All right, we'll start out with just 1 meter per second, and then we'll work our way up from there. Zoom minus equals this whole big long thing, but the axis we're going to get is going to be fire, which is going to represent positive. So this axis is fire. So if you press it in, it will zoom in at 1 meter per second. And then, if you press this, it will zoom out at 1 meter per second. Right? Yeah. Okay, good. So, if this is 1, it will be zoom, which is already negative, and it's going to move it 1 negative per second. But I want to be able to zoom out also. Right? Yeah. So the camera is going to start out at negative 50. And then it's going to zooming out is more negative, zooming in is less negative. And we're going to go ahead and say that 5 is the lowest I ever want it to be. Okay. So 50 is zoomed out. Okay. Okay. So if you want to zoom in, you'd hold fire. Yeah, so I actually did this wrong. It should be plus equals. So as the negative number goes towards 0, it'll be more zoomed in. You're getting closer and closer to the object. But we also want to be able to use this. So that axis is set to use item. I don't remember what exactly it's called. Not switch item. Oh, it's just called item. Okay, good. Item. All right. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do minus. So if you're holding this, you will add 1 to zoom every second. Oh, I didn't multiply by time dot delta time. Okay, let's do that now. Multiplied by time dot delta time. What time is it? It's delta time. Time dot delta time is just how many seconds this frame took up. So if you have 10 frames a second, then it'll multiply it by 0.1. And as a result, after 10 frames go by, you get back up to 1. And that's how you get 1 per second. And if your frame rate doubles, time dot delta time will be cut in half, and so everything will still work out. It's very useful for keeping things that happen once a frame, but you want them to all move at a consistent speed. So this should work out. So if you are holding fire, then it will add to zoom 1 per second. If you are holding item, it will zoom out at 1 per second. And if you hold both, it won't move at all. It'll move in at 1 a second and out at 1 a second, leaving it in the same spot. But of course, none of this doesn't mean anything if we don't actually go somewhere. But first, if zoom is less than, we're going to say -5. And normally I would have a separate variable set for this, but I'm not going to do that this time because I want it, because I don't care. I'm just going to pick it. And the minimum value is -5. So hey, you know what? If you are, oh, I did this wrong. Negative numbers, they're backwards. If it's greater than -5, so -4 is greater than -1. I'm sorry, I got that mixed up. That's like the most basic thing ever. But if zoom is greater than -5, then zoom will be equal to -5. So what that just means is if you are zooming in to the extent where you are right inside the object, back up until you're 5. Now, you're still going to be able to go through objects, and we'll deal with that later. Or I'll deal with that later more accurately. But that'll work for now. They'll get the job done. Good. But now we need to go to camera transform dot local position is equal to, and I'm modifying the z variable, aren't I? Yes. Very good. Is equal to a new vector 3, which is just new vector 3 escape, which is just storing 3 floats one after another, commonly used for position. 0 because I want it to stay centered, 0 because I want it to stay centered, and zoom, which is going to be the z value. So now as a result, I should be able to zoom in and zoom out. I also know I have a bunch of bugs in here, and so I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, you know what? Let's do that right now. So the way I wrote this code was, if you're looking at the hexagons head on, X should move you in this direction to the right. Negative X should move you to the left. Y positive should move you forward, and Y negative should move you back. But as you can imagine, if the camera is rotated by 90 degrees, all of a sudden that's wrong now. Now you want X to move you, from my perspective, forward, and negative X to move you backward. You want to rotate everything by 90 degrees. And so at work, I wrote all this stuff out, and now I don't think it works. So I got to figure that out. But we have this handy dandy thing that we can do to debug everything. Boy, you're running slow. Streaming can really make things run slow. So down here, we're already putting our position in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in something. And I'm going to do a \n. And what that does is it does an enter. It moves everything down one line. And then I am going to add look x. And so what it'll do is it'll tell me exactly what angle it thinks I'm moving at, so that I can sort of say, hey, you know, this one's working, this other one isn't, and so on and so forth. Cool. I think some of them were just simply inverted, so this should help. All right, cool. I'm going to apply this. I know it's compiling, but I'm going to do that anyway. Then I'm going to kind of browse. So this is the problem. Yeah, I'm going to want a whole different tiling system, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm going to want a whole new tiling system. Call it new tile. Loading, loading, loading. Keep this program loading. Dead air. Dead air. Okay, so these are arcade tiles. I'm gonna make a new folder. I said I'm gonna make a new folder. Create folder. These are going to be map maker. Put a space in there. Maker tiles. Okay, map maker tiles. Cool, 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 cool. Arcade tiles, which is basically what those were anyway. And I'm going to do map tile. So this one's going to be map tile 1. Control D. Move this into map maker tiles. Map tile 1. Good, 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 good. Yeah. Sorry, I'm daydreaming. I'm thinking about ways to rotate the tile, and I shouldn't be doing that right now. So I'm gonna copy and paste some wonderful code. Resources.load. So a lot of that's going to be wrong. Oh, right. Okay. So int, even though it doesn't need to be an int, it can actually be a uShort, but that's beside the point. Map tile, or I'm just gonna say tile. I don't think I've used that yet. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna instantiate resources.load, but then I'm gonna have to copy and paste, not copy and paste. I'm gonna have to figure out this address, which is mapmaker tiles. I don't know how this is encoding. There we go. There we go. Map maker tiles slash map tile slash no, not slash, I'm sorry. Tile.toString000. And now before the other 3 digits right here, That used to represent the material type. We are not doing it like that anymore. Now we are going to place down the tile and then change the material accordingly, which is what this should be doing, but it's not going to. Because we'll ask questions like what material it should have later. Cool, so map maker tiles. Make sure I didn't spell anything wrong. Map tile. Okay, so if the map tile, where are you? Map tile, which is equal to 1. We only have one tile right now that we're working with, and it is map tile 1. So when I say place, and actually, I should make this a separate variable. Yep, I'm going to make this a separate variable. A separate function, rather. Void place tile. Because this is actually going to get very lengthy, and I don't want everything to get cluttered. So now, right here, I'm just going to say place tile. Yep, there we go. And it's acting like I forgot a bracket somewhere. I don't see anything though. Cool. All right, so this thing's good. Yeah, like I said, this is going to do a lot later, but oh, I did forget something. Oh, yep. Forgot a bracket right there. I think that should be good, right? Yeah. Good. All right, cool. So it's compiling right now. We're gonna see how that works. Later, I'm going to have to deal with how to do rotation. Oh, can I convert? Okay, good. I kind of thought it was going to yell at me. What it's saying is you can't convert, and this is stupid. Unity object to Unity game object. Fine, whatever. You guys make the rules, not me. So I'm going to do copy. Oh, I messed up. I didn't mess up bad though. This is fixable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, this thing's a game object. And then I'm going to do type of game object, which is so silly that I have to, but I don't make the rules. I'm going to do paste type of game object. Okay, so basically it seems redundant, but we're saying it's a game object at the beginning, and we're saying it's a game object in the middle. I'm going to save it and watch it compile and hope that there are no errors. Sorry, this is it's so backwards. It's kind of cool though because you can actually see like my well, you could see my shadow. Yeah. Boy, that shadow doesn't last long though, does it? It's like a 3D perspective. Like I can touch the code. Oh, good, it's still compiling. Ugh. Come and knock on my door. Oh, I had delay though. All right, cool. All right, so everything looks good. Gonna save. Press play. Tyler gave me this hoodie. I like it. I think it's got a nice color. I think it looks kind of sporty. I'm not a very sporty individual, but I still like the look of it. All right, map maker. Oh, I really like how zoomed out that is. All right. Oh. Look X is always saying 45. Ooh, wow, that's encoding real bad behind me. Sorry, guys. It always thinks that the look angle is 45. All right, anyway. All right, can I zoom in? You can't see it really on your guys' end, but maybe you can. I don't know. It is actually working. It is actually it's zooming in. It's extremely slow. Can you guys see the pixels on that? I don't know, but it is zooming in. I think it's in all likelihood probably zooming in 100 times slower than it should. I don't know. So let's fix that one because that one's kind of the easiest thing to fix. To the point where I actually forgot what I was working on. Oh, right. It always thinks that look X is 45. Why do you think it's 45? Wow, really? That's crazy. If look X is greater than... Why 45? What do I have look speed set to? I have it set to 100. Well, you know what? Let's just multiply by look speed. I'm just going to throw look speed in there. I don't know if that's actually the right thing to do. If look X is greater than 315, or it's less than 45. Boy, yeah, and it's like, the part that surprises me is the look script is working. You know, it's turning around there properly. And why is it able to turn around properly if the variable's never being changed? I'll have to look into that a little more. After it compiles. I don't know how long ago, they made a big update to Unity and they said that basically the scripts within the game are going to run at like twice the speed, but the compile speed's going to be slower, which I think just about anybody would say is good. I mean, if your game can run twice as quickly, it just takes longer to compile. That's worth it, but boy, it does stink how long it takes to compile scripts nowadays. Okay. All right, so, oh yeah, oh, I like that. That zoom is much faster. You can definitely see that. And let's see if I can go inside of it. I can kind of. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. Oh, hey, it changed. Why did it change? Oh, it only updates that if you move it. It only updates that if you move it. Okay. So I think I'm perfectly upside down. Yeah, okay, good. Good. All right, so let's go to a middle position. Yes, so this is exactly backwards. Up and down is exactly backwards. Well, no, it's not. Yeah, at this angle, I'm actually really quite happy with this. Yes, I know you can go inside the other cube. That's kind of beside the point. Shoot. All right, anyway. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to move the camera 90 degrees. So now this is in like the 275 mark. And the x is moving in the proper axis, but it seems to be moving backwards. So what I'm going to do is, whatever's 275, 275 would be this one. So the x, oh, can't tell if that was somebody knocking, if that was Charity. Charity's upstairs and she's sick. Stinks. All right, so I am actually I'm moving along the y. I'm moving along the y axis. So whatever's moving along the y is backwards. So this one should be negative. And now, if I had to guess, I would say that the x is probably the same way. Now I want to move away. Yeah. Yep, this is backwards also. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse both the x and the y, which makes me think that the x and the y for the 180 degree mark is also going to be backwards. Well, okay, let's just go ahead and check. So now I want to check some number between 255 and 315. So, where was I? So this is what I just did. And this is exactly backwards, right? Oh, this is 50, which is the same. Okay, so this is normal. This is 180 degrees, or roughly. Yeah, that's pretty close. Actually, 180 degrees. Looking pretty good. Yeah, 180 degrees. I'm really happy with. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I think that's right. So 180 degrees. So 0 degrees I'm happy with. 90 degrees I'm happy with. 180 degrees I'm happy with. And so I'm guessing I'm gonna want to reverse these. Yep. Yep. Yeah, is there anything else I want to change right now? I don't think so. Cool. Oh, whoops. I clicked on the other version. I have 2 versions of Unity if I'm working on multiple projects at once. Which is not a bad idea. Oh, this is the VLC streaming stuff. Cool. Like I said, those compile times, huh? Why do I keep doing that? I don't know. Alright, cool. So, now let's try this and see how all this works. Alright. Map maker. Yeah, you're not starting out to 45, and I don't understand that. Okay, so I want to go to position. Wait, that feels wrong to me. I mean, it's probably moving correctly, but I don't want 0, 0 to be in the lower left-hand corner, lower right-hand corner. All right, so here's 10, 10. Why are you moving so? Okay. See, this feels wrong. There you go. If this works, it gets the job done. Alright, so then this one. Yeah, that one works. And so if I wanted to go one below this guy, I go right there. I think I need the movement speed to go up. Yeah, I definitely want the movement speed to go up. And then close out on this because I was not supposed to open it in the first place. Yeah. So I did the movement speed in kind of a weird way. I don't have it multiply, I just changed the if statements. So basically, rather than having it be so if you move the joystick, it multiplies it by a certain number, I changed the threshold on the other end. So if you're moving the joystick, it is not simply a timed delay like you'd normally have. It works kind of more like a mouse, where if you're moving this a little bit, it'll sort of chug along. If you're moving it all the way, then it'll go a little bit faster. I thought that might be more appropriate for making stuff in some sort of map maker engine. History will decide if I was correct. All right, cool. So I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna compile this. Oh, not so accurate with that mouse. I'm gonna close out on this. And while that's compiling, I'm gonna get started on the next step. I had some code written down that I was gonna try and put in here, but I don't seem to have it right now. Okay. Is there anything else I want to do with moving around? I think all this is good. You accept place out. Well, we're going to need something to keep track of all the tiles that we're working on. Well, hang on now. Now is the time to fix any problems that we have. So, if I don't like if I don't like 0, 0 being in the lower right-hand corner, now is the time to fix it. But I don't know how to fix it. So let's take a look at this again. Starting it up. All right, map maker startup. Okay, so let's let's start from the beginning. So this is, so now we have a tile in 0, 0. So now, boy, it doesn't seem to ever want to move the way I want it to. I mean, it does, it moves right, but it's just confusing. So, yeah, so now I've moved the camera. Boy, you know, so I can move the camera, and now all this makes sense. What if the camera just starts out in the wrong position? Maybe that's the way. So if I am in, okay, you're just gonna fix it. Okay, so if I'm at 90 degrees, where's 90 degrees? Oh, oops. Oh, so if I'm at 0 degrees, everything lines up. Oh, okay. This is fine. If X is at 0, I'm happy with all this. Yeah. Does it not start out that way normally? And I don't really care. I mean, they can move this around all they want. Try to get it at 45. Okay. 45 and 0. So 45 and 0. Yeah. So that's, everything starts in the lower left. So then if you go to the middle, and it also tells you how many it's out of. Actually, I haven't tried maxing this out yet. I wonder if people are going to want this to be buttons instead of... I don't know. I mean, buttons make sense because then you have more precision. But then what are you going to use this other joystick for, you know? Boy, it is kind of hard to tell where you are also. Because see, like, I would want... Yeah, let's change this. Let's change this around. So what I'm going to do, actually... I'm trying to think of how to do this. Sorry, I'm not being very entertaining. Where if you held the button down, you could drag from one spot to another. You could drag from one spot to another without letting go of the button and without pressing multiple tiles in the same spot. So what I'm thinking is, if you pressed the button down, or, all right, so do we already set moved to be equal to false? No, we don't. Okay, so rather than have moved be set to false every time you move it, I'm going to retain that information. So at the beginning of each frame, moved is equal to false. So at the beginning of the frame, nothing is moved. Now, depending on what the player does, it might move. We might move something and it'll say, hey, moved is equal to true, and if moved is equal to true, then we'll go through all this process. And then as soon as the frame starts back up, we'll be like, hey, you haven't moved yet. And the reason why we want to do it that way is we want the place tile function to also have access to this information. So I'm going to say, if you are pressing the button down for the first time, place the tile. Or if you are moved and you have the button held, then place the tile. And that'll give the player two options. So I'm not going to say get button down, but get button period. All right, so let's get this rendering real quick while I explain. Which I think if you're watching this, you probably get this. But if you press down the button and you're in position, oh sorry, my hair's kind of messed up. If you're in position 10-10, you press down the button once, you will place down one tile. If you hold down the button and you don't, if you don't press it down a second time, you just sit there and hold it, and then you start moving over, it'll place tiles in every subsequent spot after that. Yeah, which I like. And then eventually place tile is going to do stuff like, hey, is there already a tile here? If there is, then is it the exact same tile as this one? Yeah. And then later on we'll get into deleting tiles or undoing tiles. But we're not there yet. All right, cool. So is the compile done? The compile is done. All right, cool. So let's try this again. So now we should be able to draw a straight line, you know, drag from one spot to another. Hope this works. That was me crossing my fingers. I don't know how you can pick that up on the camera. That was not meant to be an offensive gesture. Although I think actually crossing your fingers is an offensive gesture in some countries. If you are from that country, I apologize. I did not mean to offend. That just meant, that was like a good luck charm, is what that was meant for. Okay, so I've rotated over. See, there's no landmarks, so it's hard for me to tell what position I'm in. Okay, good. All right, so now I'm good. Okay, cool. So now this is the corner I want. Yes, these are the droids I'm looking for. Okay, cool. So I pressed it down. I made one tile, and you can see that that tile was made in the upper left-hand corner. Now I press it down again. I place down one tile, and I'm holding it, and now I'm. Hey, look at that! 32 tiles. So now I can go here, and I can. Pretty soon I'm gonna, you know, slow down everything. Now I move over, press it down, and now I move over. And yeah, it's like I said earlier, with hexagons, you're always gonna have this. So yeah, anyway, this is a 32 by 32 map. Which is not the smallest map you can make in the game, but it's pretty darn close to it. But you also have all these. Boy, and that does stink having to press it down every time. That doesn't. I don't like that. If I press it down, I have to. That's not too bad because you don't change floors that often anyway. But it would. Yep. Yeah, so what I want to have happen is if you press. This is actually kind of fun, actually. I really feel like this is working out. It doesn't talk to the game yet. And also I said this limit is artificial. So, all right, so now I pressed it down, and now if I hold this, it doesn't. Well, actually, yeah, you can just do. Oh, did I move? Oh, whoops, whoopsie. Yeah, so you can do that. Okay, all right. So I like this. I think the movement is intuitive. I think it moves fast enough that I'm happy with it. But yeah, I don't have to press this down every time. I want to have the classic press it down once, have it wait a second. Yeah, have it wait a second. Wait, let's see. One potato, two. No. Yeah, 1 second. I want to have it so if I press it down for 1 second, after that it'll just move up at the speed of everything else. But I'm really happy with it. All that worked out actually very, very well. So we're not changing zoom. Okay, good. So if the left bumper is pressed, then move down without exception. Boy, we're gonna have to have a Z timer. Yeah, okay, here's what we're gonna do. So if button down, then if button down, then we're gonna start the conversation. If button down, yeah, and we're gonna go ahead and keep this Z is greater than or equal to 0. Then oh boy. Sorry, my back's starting to hurt. Well, it'd be kind of nice if I just had like short chairs that you can just sit in here like this. Like, you know, those kind they have like for camping where it's just like 3 inches off from the ground. That'd be really nice right about now. Okay, cool. So all right, so if you are holding left bumper or you are holding right bumper, then we are going to have a thing called our Z timer, which is going to be a float in the move area. And because it's a button, I'm not going to worry about it being additive. It's just going to be a timer. Z timer. Okay. So else, if Z timer is not equal to 0, then Z timer is equal to 0. All right, so I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead. I'm not really explaining what I'm doing. So, all right, so if Z timer is less than or equal to 0, then go ahead and move the tile. Yeah. Go ahead, if the timer is less than or equal to 0, then go ahead and move the tile. But then Z timer, we're going to add the Z timer. We're going to add the Z timer 1. And what that's going to do is it's going to make it so there's 1 second between each floor. Although we don't really want that, do we? We don't want it to be just 1 second. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of how to do this. Because, yeah, right now we have it move at 10 a second. If you're moving the X value, it'll move 1 every 10 seconds. So how do we do that? Okay, so if you let go, the timer returns to 0. All right, so if the get button down and you are less than or equal to 0, then yeah, go ahead and do it. And then we start the timer. If you are less than or equal to 0, put a tile. Or yeah, this will work. If you are less than or equal to 0, or Z timer is, I've never actually done this before, I'm gonna get a little excited, or Z timer is greater than 1, then do all of this, and then Z timer minus equals, let's do, well, are you really going to move up 10 floors a second? I don't think so. Let's do 2. Okay. All right, good. So what this will do is it kind of messes this. Well, actually, you know, I can actually make this work. Yeah, 0.8F. Okay, good. No, I hit it right. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. All right, so if you are holding down the button I'm sorry. If you haven't pressed the button, then Z timer is at 0. Oh yeah. We also have to say Z timer plus equals, which just adds to whatever number you're on. Time, no. Autocorrect. Time. I pressed escape. Dot delta time. Okay, good. So what that would do is, it's at 0, right? You press it down. It's like, hey, are you less than or equal to 0? Oh. Nope, it's not going to work. That is not going to work. Drat, I messed this up. Because that's just going to bounce from negative. I can do a check for that, though. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna clutter this up with some if statements. Yeah, I'm gonna clutter this up. And that stinks, and if I was a better programmer, I could figure something else out, but I can't. All right, so if you are less than or equal to, if you are less than or equal to 0, then yeah, put it down. Actually, I'm gonna actually want to copy and paste a lot of this. Okay, so if you're less than or equal to 0, put that tile down. But then don't cause any issues. Don't subtract anything. So okay, so right now the way this will work is, if you're holding down the button, if Z timer is less than or equal to 0, go ahead and move. And as a result, place a tile. But if you're not less than 0, are you greater than 1? Because if you're greater than 1, that means that you've been holding it for a full second. And we also want you to place a tile. So at that point, you're going to do the exact, oh, whoops, I just flagged that and I shouldn't have. Then we want you to place down a tile. And then we want to only subtract 0.2. And what that would do is, it would allow for running loop. And I actually have not done almost any comments on this. But I'm actually really happy with this. Let's see how well this works. So rather than go through the whole process again, I am just going to copy and paste this, but change it so it's plus plus. Yeah, and it is still minus for that. It's still greater than this. All that should be right. So every frame, however, it will check, hey, are they holding the bumper down? Yeah, yep. Every frame, it's already checking, hey, is Z greater than 0? Is Z less than Z max? So all that stuff's so good. Yeah, and there's another thing that is very wrong. So X max is equal to, and I set all of these to ints, and they should be U shorts. So, whoops, U short, yep. So, X max is equal to tile key map type dot X. Yeah, good. And Control C, copy and paste that, but then we're going to change this one to Y, change this one to Y, change this one to Z, change this one to Z. So the only reason why that matters is we have all of these different map types. And the reason why we have these different map types is I wanted to find a way to be able to compress the data in a really efficient manner. And as a result, you can have a variety of different maps. You can have maps that are very short, but very long. You can have maps that are very tall, but very narrow. And so, for example, if you wanted to have a map where the players are running around a skyscraper, you could do that. You could have a 64 floor map with 32 tiles by 32 tiles, which is pretty darn big in its own right. So that should be plenty. Or if you wanted to make just a straight up racetrack, you could have one that is 64 tiles by 1,024 tiles, which is sizable. Sizable. But all of these have to fit within the number range of a U short. So, all right, that should be good. Okay, good. So now all of these should label properly. And yeah, let's see if this new floor system works. Why do I keep doing that? Yeah, let's see if this new floor system works. That makes me very happy. And while that's doing that, I probably can't. Can I open this? Yes. Okay. While that's compiling, I'm going to do something over here. Placing tiles. Good. Good, good, good. Still not done yet, huh? Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's press play and start this up. I'm almost tempted to look at that screen while I'm playing. No, I can't do that. That'd be too long of a delay. Come and knock on my door. Okay, good. Boy, it's still starting at the wrong angle, but anyway, that's beside the point. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why it starts at such a weird spot. Okay, that's good. All right, so let's try to make a big cube. So I'm going to press X there, move all the way over. Oh, you did not accurately limit this. All right. That or I didn't do it right. I know, can't be that. Okay, so nice. Yeah, so this is also very wrong. Wow, I've always wanted to write code like that, and I've never been able to. I like how fast this moves. Okay, so if you go, yeah, then you shouldn't ever double place a tile. So, as you can see, I do have one problem which I'm not very happy about. The map is 64 by 32 by 32 when it should be 32 by 32 by 64. So I don't really get that. Alright, so I'm still holding this down, and I'm going to go down. Yeah. Yeah, it should move up faster. It should move up faster. But that's an easy fix. Yep, we're going to move it up, so I'm not going to save that though, because that's only a minor change. I don't actually need that. Yeah, there we go. Huh? Not too shabby. This just goes to show how freaky big these maps can be. I'm not experiencing any slowdown on my machine. Of course, the game isn't actually running, but let's look at the stats. Oh, yeah. It's running at 200 frames a second, so and it's on my laptop. Oh, you're seeing some marks behind you. But yeah, it's running. Oh, you should be able to go diagonally. You can't go diagonally. Is that right? Oh, you can go diagonally. It doesn't exactly move the way you'd think it would. But it sure does work, yeah. This actually works out really well. I'm really happy with this. Like I said, of course, this is not actually keeping track of anything. This is wonderful. Sorry, I know I'm just sort of playing around with this. I'm just really happy with how well it worked out. Cool. Alright, but of course, if we're going to place a tile, we have to actually be able to save that information. And that's where we get into some specifics with the map maker. Could you guys have read that? I don't know. Yeah, that would be hard to read. Oh, yeah, we got another bug. Oh. No, that should be right. X max, Z max, Y max. So for some weird reason, Y and Z max is set to 32, and X max is set to 64. Why is that? Because we go over to our key. Oh, am I off by one? I might be off by one. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, I'm off by one. Okay, good. All right, so that's not a bug. That was just, I made a mistake. So it was correct. It was just correct for the wrong map type. And so if they change from one map type to another, that would be fine. And changing map types isn't something that you'll be able to do on the fly because it'd have to take all of this data and shift it. Feeling shifty. Cool, I'm happy with that. All right, so now we're going to want different tile types, and that's actually super exciting. We're at that point already. So this is tile 1. It is just a regular old run-of-the-mill hexagon. But there's more than that. There's a lot more than that. So if we go over here, we have this one, which is a floor, which maybe floor should be 1. Yeah, maybe floor should be 1. Okay. Yeah, so when you start, all right, so yeah, this is something that should only happen once. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, no. No, no, you're good. You're good. So if I say load value, okay, you're good. All right, so I would like the code to generate this tile, and then what is it? What do I call it? Held tile. Held tile is equal to temp game object. Temp game object dot transform dot parent is equal to transform, which, boy, that's getting old. All right, cool. So all that's going to do is it's going to say, hey, when you start out, yeah, when you start out, make a map tile that matches up with whatever tile you're on, and then make it part of the main object. And that way it can move around with you. Disconnected from chat. That's no good. It says I have one viewer. Welcome to the chat room. Oh, cool. If I missed any chat, I apologize. Because I did think there's one person viewing, but I'm not sure if it counts me. Alright, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool, ka-choo. Alright, cool. It says welcome to the chat room. I'm gonna type hello in case there's anybody watching. Actually, I don't know how to do that in this. I think I've. Oh, there you go. Oh. Hey, everybody. Exclamation point. There you go. Alright, good, good, good. Alright, so I'm really happy with all of this. Yeah, this is working out really good. Okay, good. So now it'll automatically load up this map tile. And I'm going to have to come up with a whole another thing for this map tile. Boy, you know, it's like... Actually, hang on. How many is this? There's... Oh, yeah, I forgot. There's also this one. So yeah, this one would be a great one for a very lengthy speed run. I'm sorry. For a very lengthy racetrack or something like that. So 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, go, okay. Alright, so that's no coincidence. And I'm pretty happy with all of that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with all that. Because there's nothing redundant here. Because, yeah, if you double the amount of floors, you cut your width in half. Alright, cool. Cool. So what next? Oh, yeah. So I want to be able to change the tile. So, yeah, boy. There's no copy. I wish there was a copy. There's duplicate, but it does something a little different. Alright, so I was actually wrong. This tile, I don't want that to be 1. I want it to be 2. And this tile, I want this tile to be 0. Really close. Okay, so this tile's 1, that tile's 0. No, I'm not worried about that because we're not doing things like that anymore. Oh, there's a pillar tile. Yeah, let's do the pillar tile next. Why can I never find duplicate? I'm always looking for it, but it's not there. Is it? No, it's not. I had to double check. I said it wasn't there and I wasn't sure. Alright, so I'm moving this over into Maker Tiles. I don't actually need to follow that one. Cool. And then we have the wall tile. Oh boy, the fact that there's so many missing spaces gives me the impression that there's a lot more going on than this. Alright, so well, let's just stick with those three for now. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Good. Alright, so now placing tiles. So I'm gonna label this section tiles. Okay, so if right. Void. Oh, okay. It's gonna get mad at me this whole time if I don't get rid of this a little bit. Delete. Void. Update tile. All right. So then I'm going to. Where is this? Yeah. So this stuff right here. I'm going to cut, and I'm going to say update tile. All right, so it's going to update the tile, and again, it's going to do that at the start, but it's also going to do it anytime somebody decides they want to change which tile it is they're placing. So, all right, all this is good, but I need an if statement for if there is a held tile, go ahead and destroy that held tile, because I don't want it anymore. Destroy held tile. Okay, good. So if you already have a held tile, destroy it, and then instantiate the tile that we have. Cool. Oh boy, you know I like this code so much. I might just copy and paste it. Yeah, I might. Yeah. Oh no, I'll put it in a different spot though. Normally I try and keep things grouped together, but lately I've been feeling like that's not necessarily a good idea. So I'm going to do a float, which is tile timer. Okay. All right, so now I want to ask the question. All right, so this one's going to be a little more complicated. Yeah, this one's going to be a little more complicated. So I don't remember the name of this, of the button I've assigned to it, but I want to say it's, yeah, all right, so we're going to use the text buttons, which is by default set to these, and on a 360 it'd probably be set to that also, where I always call it the D-pad just from Nintendo's vernacular, but pressing this button will cycle tile number down, this one will tile number up, this one will be material up, and this one will be material down. So if you're so right now, we only have 3 tiles, but we'll eventually have more than 3 tiles. We'll eventually have quite a few more than 3 tiles. So if I say text left, I want it to go down, and I do want it to loop. I do want it to loop. All right, so if they press button down, text left. Sorry, I'm constantly shifting to get a little more comfortable, and it, it gives you more space. Although admittedly, right now all it is unencoded mess. Oh, maybe this will help. Will that help? Find out in a few seconds. Streaming delays, am I right? It helped. It didn't really fix it, but it did help. All right, cool. So if they press text left, yeah, if they are pressing text left, if tile timer is less than or equal to this, then Oh boy, yeah, I'm tempted to use a temporary bool for this. I am very tempted to use a temporary, because I'm going to end up copying and pasting the same code over and over again. Yeah, boy, that's a lot of if statements, though. Alright, so we're going to do tile timer plus equals this. Yeah, so the reason why I'm having a hard time with this is if the tile, I don't want the tile to go anything below 1. 1 is the first tile. And there's actually, we can't use the number 0 here for some encoding reasons, but I can't let it go below 1. So if it's at 1, then you want to loop around. You want to go back to whatever the maximum number of tiles will be, which for right now is 3. So you have the option of 1, 2, or 3. Those are your only options. You don't have any more. Yeah, we can make this work. So if tile is less than if it's less than 1, then tile is equal to, and this I definitely do need to store this as a temporary variable. Tiles int tile tile count, which is equal to 3. We have 3 tiles. All right, so if tile is less than 1, then tile is equal to tile count. Done. Cool. So what this will do is it will allow it. Oh, and I don't care about moved because we're not actually moving. And this is not Z timer. This is tile timer. And actually, I probably should do this before it checks. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter. I'm gonna do it anyway though. Tile minus minus. I wanted to check something real quick. That's fine. I want to make sure no one's trying to get a hold of me. No, we're good. All right, good. Good. All right, so tile minus minus. I don't care about the moved side of things. If tile is less than 1, then the tile is equal to tile count. So it goes 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. And I do think that this is probably a little too fast for moving between tiles. Maybe that's fine. That's fine if you are moving up and down floors, but it's not really fine if you are changing your tile. So, all right, cool. So that's what happens if you press text left. What happens if you press text right? Press Control V and then text right. Now, text right is, of course, just going to do the exact opposite. Checks and all. So copy, paste, and then also I'm going to say if tile timer is not equal to 0, then tile timer is equal to 0. Good. All right, good. So all of these. So if tile timer, yeah, all these are right. So I'm just going to say plus plus for this one. I'm going to say plus plus for this one. But then right here, I'm going to say, hey, if you are greater than tile count, then you're equal to 1. And I know it's going to be 1. I know where the bottom is. I don't always know where the top is, but you always know where the bottom is. Bottom's always 1. So then you're good. But I actually realized that I made a very sizable oversight. Each time it changes the tile, we have to update the tile, which is why I had this be a function. So Control C. Anytime the tile is different, we're going to update the tile. Update tile. And we might want to do a material thing separately, so if you're changing through the materials, it doesn't have to reload the same tile and reload the material. I don't know how much optimization we need to do for that. Like, I don't know how much time that saves. Considering how fast it's placing these tiles, I'm actually really quite happy with that. And like I said, this is just my little old laptop, and it doesn't seem to be having any problems loading a bunch of tiles. Of course, I didn't fill up the space. Cool. All right, let's try this out. Oh, and while I'm here, these all are using something called default material, which I do not want it to be using. I want it to be using white. This one included light gray. Well, I appreciate that, but that is not what we want. So they're all using white. I always have to fix them up. Okay, good. Good. I always feel like I have to compile after I change prefabs, but that's not true. So I don't know why I always think that. Starting up